Hello, everyone. I am Felipe Moura Brasil, Brazilian journalist, director of journalism for O Antagonista and Crusoé. And I'm glad to have in our show, he's the president of the MEMRI Institute and former counter-terrorism advisor to prime ministers Itzhak Rabin and Itzhak Shamir. Hello, sir. Nice to have you here.
Hi. Hi. Happy to be there.
Mr. Yigal, I'd like to have an explanation from you, to hear from you, so our viewers can understand what's MEMRI Institute and what's your mission.
Okay. So lately I came to this insight. MEMRI is MEMRI. And it's great. It's Middle East MRI. We are the MRI of the Middle East. We look into the heart, brain, bones, what have you, whatever MRI does, to the Middle East through its open source material, media, papers, TV, social media, school books, religious institutions, publications, what have you, wherever religion plays a role in the life of the individual and the society. And that means preachers and sermons, because in the Middle East it has a meaning. And by looking at all that, in the different languages, Arabic, Farsi, Turkish, Urdu, we issue analysis like doctors that do MRI are publishing their reports. And we also do the translation. I must look at my last MRI to see how it's structured and to tell you there is the data and then there is the analysis. We do the data and we do the analysis. 10 years ago, we began doing also the Russian media. We did, when they entered big time into Syria, we began doing that. And then we realized that you cannot understand Russia in Syria without understanding Russia in the Kremlin. So we began doing Russia in general. 4 years ago, we began doing Chinese. Big task. A lot of work. We are 74 people, linguists, analysts, and we attract importance to what people say, no less, if not more, than secret intelligence. Thomas Friedman of the New York Times once said that he learned that in the West, leaders lie in public and say the truth in private. But in the Middle East, people lie in private and say the truth in public. And this is and this proved itself not one mistake.
Yeah, sir, and your work has been very important to us in our reports about Gaza right now, because MEMRI takes the Hamas leaders' interviews to Arab world and translate into English, and then here in Brazil we translate it into Portuguese, and then our viewers can listen what Hamas leaders actually say openly, sometimes. To the Arab world. And it's amazing how important it is. And I'd like to ask you, have you seen any change in the Middle East media coverage after the October the 7th attack against Israel? And how's your position about this?
It is a tragedy. What Hamas did is one thing, and we all try to hang to that they are an Islamist fanatic organization So we say they don't represent and so on. That is not true. Indeed, they are a unique organization. There are many others, but they are essentially what they are. But what came out after that, the demonstrations of support from the whole Arab and Muslim world, and in Europe, and in America, and in Brazil, and everywhere, tells us one thing: the heart of the Arab and Muslim masses and their supporters in those countries is with Hamas. Very simple. The heart is with Hamas. And that means that I wrote a piece about it called About the Future. I will ask to send it to you. I have already to write About the Future #2. As tragic as that is. They all told us, these people that are not Hamas, we don't want you here. We will not accept you here. In fact, as the Iranians are saying, this is a war against Western civilization, that Israel is the head of this invasion.
Yes.
I want to tell you something personal. I could have a European passport for several reasons, personal. I never took it, I didn't want to. But now I'm going to take it. Why? I want to establish that, yes, we are a Western implant here, because it is a war of cultures and civilizations. Because when, you know, what they did is an attempt to vomit us out as an implant from the West. And it's two different cultures. One has to admit it. Two different cultures. I am going to write a piece in our papers to say we cannot win this war. Because when you compare a culture of people who love life with a culture of people who say we love death, and quoting the 7th century Khalid ibn al-Walid in his battle against the Iranians in Qadisiyah 630, where he said to the Farsi guy, we are convert to Islam and you will be safe, because if not, know that we came to you with the people who love death as much as you love life. You know, you look at your reporters on the field, they look at the Israelis, you know, a bunch of sissies making fun, doing that. People who love life, this whole war is a crazy thing. And you see the Palestinians, each one a killer. They want to kill. How do you win this war? We are going to win, but it's not going to be a win. There will be no win here, even when we crush them. The hate will be double, triple, more times. And you cannot bring together these two cultures in war. The one can say, we are the stronger culture. Well, yes and no. We are going to overcome them. We have airplanes, we have tanks, we will suffer casualties. In the war of brutality, we will win. But spiritually, ideologically, they will stay where they are. No change. The love of death is stronger than the love of life. And it will continue. People tell me, what's the day after? And I tell them, But there is no day after. What day after? The hate will be bigger. The situation in Gaza, you will see in my article, Gaza will keep being a war area. We will withdraw. They will come back and shoot at us. We'll shoot back. South of Gaza will be one big refugee camp, hundreds of thousands, like in Turkey, like in Syria, like in Iraq, like in Jordan.
Okay.
And this will continue 10 years. People tell me, you're pessimistic. And I tell them, no, I'm optimistic, thinking that it will be 10 years. It may be 20 years and 30 years. We have refugees. They will not be back also, like the Gazan refugees, because there will be no security. How could they go back?
Okay.
This is the day after. PLO come back. This is delusional. Some figure, it's all a joke. What the hell are they talking about? No one will go there. The Hamas leaders already said those who think that they will put on us leaders of their choice are in delusion. No one can force anyone on us. There are 34,000 killers. Imagine something that is totally impossible, that we kill 30,000. Impossible. On many levels, moral and other, no way. But just for the sake of argument, there will be 10,000 remaining. They will keep fighting us. And we will fight them back. And this is the day after. Nothing else.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. And I'd like just to remember that it was in one of these MEMRI videos that one of the Hamas leaders said, we need their blood. He was talking about the Palestinian civilians that they use as human shields. But now Duda Teixeira, our reporter in O Antagonista website and Crusoé magazine, he joins us in this interview. So Duda Teixeira has a question for you, sir.
Hi, Yigal. Well, nice to meet you. And first of all, congratulations for your work. Yigal, in last October, we had a Hamas member, Ghazi Hamad. He was being interviewed by BBC. And when he was asked about killing Israelis while they were sleeping, Ghazi Hamad simply walked out from the interview, right? Why don't they answer these questions in Western media if they talk so freely in Arab and Muslim channels?
First of all, I want to say there was another video of him in Turkey, I think. You should see it, where he said, we will keep doing the same thing again and again and again until Israel is annihilated. That's one. And that's, I say that this is the future based on what we saw. By the way, you know that I personally published an early warning on August 31st, this a month and a half ago. I said signs of upcoming war in September, October. You didn't see it. I published it. No one looked at it. No one cared. There is a reason. We will talk about it. But they said such things in the past, and they are not ashamed of saying it because this is what they believe. What people say and believe is not nonsense, like Western civilization taught itself to say, blah, blah, show, blah. No, that's the heart. That is what they live for. What is this? Blah, blah. This is what leaders and military commanders and intelligence, we bought them. Bibi Netanyahu said, I bought them with the Qatari money. And others, all the military was dragged by him. What bought them? What are you talking about? Ideology is meaningful. Now I want to say about the ideology, since this is an Islamist organization that teaches itself on the teachings of Muhammad of the 7th century, they just did another attack of the 7th century. This is exactly how it worked at the time. Only instead of pickups, there were camels, and they attacked the infidels and come back with booty, women, children, properties. It's another one. This is with regard to them. Some of them have a problem of exposing it. And by the way, I want to tell you something about Islam. In the Quran, Muhammad said the opposite. He said, don't kill a child, a woman, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But the practice was the opposite. Also, Abu Bakr, the first caliph after Muhammad, also said the same thing. I appeared on Israeli Arabic TV. I brought a page with quotes. I said, this is what Muhammad said. This is what Abu Bakr said. Who are these people? Are they Muslims? Well, I knew the book says one thing and the practice was exactly what they did at the time. So the question is, sometimes they hide it, but most of the time they don't. They say it because they deeply believe that we have to be ousted of here. And will that change the day after? The day after, it will be stronger. The ideology will be just stronger after the war. And we will come again with our Western life. Let's do this. Let's renovate the Gaza. We are so good. Oh, how good we are. Ya Allah, so good. We want to rebuild everything. What is this nonsense? They want us to hell. Even more now than ever before.
And sir, Mr. Yigal, we've mentioned Qatar, and Qatar portrays itself as a peace mediator in many conflicts around the world. And at the same time, they have Al Jazeera. Do you watch Al Jazeera? Does Al Jazeera promote peace? And I'd like to have an opinion from you about the other TV channels that MEMRI monitors. Are they state-sponsored?
First of all, I'm hooked to Jazeera. If I could switch, I can do it. Here is Jazeera. You see it?
Okay. Yes.
I am on Jazeera day and night at home. Jazeera is the megaphone of Hamas. Qatar gave it to them. 24 hours a day, megaphone of Hamas. The war began with a declaration of war on Jazeera on Saturday morning, October 7. Since then, they are the megaphone for Hamas. They are Qatar. Qatar is the state sponsor of terrorism, Islamist terrorism. I will send you, please read the piece that I'm going to send you. It's an overall explanation, and you can quote me.
We will.
They are ISIS, they are Al-Qaeda, they are Taliban. Here is their playbook. They support the Islamists, they cause the terrorism, and then they come to the idiotic Americans and tell them, we are the mediators. More idiotic than the Americans are only the Jews. Only the Jews. Others...
Hypocrisy.
No, idiotic.
Yeah.
They don't get it. This is their playbook. Create the havoc, create the terror, create it, and then come and say, we are mediators, we have good relations with them. Why do you have good relations with them? What are they doing in your capital for years? They are the commanders. It's just crazy. You know, you cannot talk. The Americans, you must know them. I hope you know them. They see the world through themselves. They don't learn languages because they cannot, because they have a closeness, because the world is like them. So they know English. I don't know how many Americans know Portuguese. Not many. Because that involves to take the psyche of Portuguese. Americans are a lost case. But also the Jews who are supposed to be better, to know, they are worse. Don't understand anything. They don't understand the basics, and I'll tell you something about it. I am member of the Labour Party that doesn't exist anymore. But with my eyes open, the left caused this mess. How? I remember in Oslo, I said that there will be Katyushas from Gaza. I was regarded right-wing because I said such bad things about them. There is peace. What am I talking about? When I issued this early warning at the end of August, some people, I suffered. Some people told me, there he goes again, this racist. To say that they want to kill us is racist. In good company, cultural, liberal company, you don't talk like this. You don't say such things. What are you, a racist? What is this? And then they kill us.
Mm-hmm. We had a few years ago the Abraham Accords, right, among Israel, Bahrain, Sudan, the Arab Emirates, and Morocco. And after these accords, did you notice that channels in these countries tried to moderate themselves?
Let's take the Abraham Accords that were initiated by the UAE. So, the accords were possible because before they were, the UAE leadership went in a different direction. That's why it was possible. Not that the accords created a new reality, but to the contrary. The new reality of this emir and the people around him created the accords. And Israelis like to talk about the accords as if it's about Israel. No, it is about the three religions. Israel being the Judaism, the emir created there a compound of the three religions. He brought the Pope to speak there. There is a church, there is a synagogue, there is a mosque. This was the vision, not Israel. Israel was one of the things. But everybody takes it like, what? I mean, the vision was different.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a dictatorship like Morocco, like Bahrain. You cannot run it except in dictatorships. Atatürk created a modern Turkey. It doesn't exist anymore. By his nationalist stature, and he could fight the Islamists because he was the national leader. He could do anything. Bourguiba in Tunisia, who adopted the flag of Atatürk, the flag of Turkey, same flag, was the national leader. He could go on Ramadan in a restaurant and eat and drink wine because he was the national leader. He could do it. Other than that, and they changed their countries.
Mm-hmm.
Today, these dictatorial leaders can change the countries just because they have intelligence regimes. But when the demonstrations happened in Morocco, they were against the regime, not just against Israel. In the UAE, there were no demonstration, in Bahrain, no demonstration. Wherever there is no dictatorship that goes, in Egypt, no demonstrations. So it was fine, but wherever there is no real dictatorship, you saw the masses, they are talking. So the Abraham Accords are good for the dictatorships that signed it, for whatever that is worth. How many years do they have to change the population? Allah knows.
Sir, one last question about these TV channels that MEMRI translates. What do they say about Christians? Are Christians a target? Are they chased?
I will send you a compilation of 25 video clips, and you will see what they say. Jazeera, you are not connected to Spain, but still. Jazeera had a 4 hours program about how Andalusia was lost. It was because of infighting between the Muslim emirs. Had there not been this infighting, Andalusia would be ours. This is Jazeera. Mm-hmm. Now you understand.
Yeah.
One last thing. Sisi speaks to a public, and the head of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Al-Azhar, is there. Sheikh Al-Azhar gave him blessing when he did the coup. So it was very meaningful for Sisi, and he owes Sheikh Al-Azhar a lot in legitimacy. So he doesn't talk to him in like a president. He asked for his help against jihad and such stuff. So Sheikh Al-Azhar answers him, and he says, jihad is what brought a bunch of tribes of Arabia that didn't know between their right hand and left hand from the borders of China to the borders of France. You cannot say that this is a liability.
Yigal Carmon, muito obrigado, as we say in Portuguese. Thank you very much for this interview.
No, don't thank me. There is nothing to thank.
Well, we congratulate you for your work, for your activism.
No, I know.
And for the videos, we translate here to clarify what's happening in the world to our people too. So thank you very much and keep on the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Yigal. Bye-bye.